I found physical events in the Web3 space seriously underwhelming. I've been to loads of Twitter Spaces events and I have so much fun. I get so much value out of being a part of those spaces, but the in real life events,
it's not the same.
One of the few Web3 events that I've heard really good things about was VCon. Now that's run by Gary Vee. It was this huge conference in a massive stadium, and I heard so many positive comments from that conference. Not to say it was perfect. Even Gary Vee said that he learned so much from hosting that conference, but generally the experience was good. Now compare this with a lot of the Web3 conferences that are happening in person, and you couldn't get further from this amazingly positive experience of VCon. I recently attended a Web3 event and again, just seriously underwhelmed. I felt like it was a Web2 event that threw in a whole bunch of buzzwords about Web3, and they were just jumping on the Web3 bandwagon. To me, this is what gives Web3 a bad name. It's not cool, and I want to see Web3 do better. Now, I tweeted about this event that I'd recently attended that had left me seriously underwhelmed, and the response I got from other Web3 people in the space showed me that I wasn't the only one that had felt disappointed. In fact, somebody that I admire a lot in the Web3 space, Betty NFT, had recently tweeted about what the conferences should look like in the Web3 space. So I think we should talk about this topic more. I want to talk about what I imagine the ultimate Web3 event to look like. Let's do away with the buzzwords, the Web2 people that are just jumping on the buzzword bandwagon, that are not giving the Web3 vibes that I need to be getting. I'm going to throw out some ideas and let's just talk about it. What can we actually do to make Web3 events awesome? All right, so let's talk about what would make the ultimate Web3 event. Firstly, I want to see a true hybrid of the physical and the virtual. It's like Twitter Spaces is awesome. The metaverse can be awesome. I want to see the best of Twitter Spaces, the metaverse, the best of meeting people in person. Let's combine that all together. I'm over the boring panel conversations. I don't know about you, but this whole format of just having people on stage and then the audience, and then the audience listens to the people on stage, and then afterwards there's a Q&A. I just feel like this is quite a tired format, and I really want to see more creativity around how we having information shared amongst each other when we go to physical events. So something that I love about Twitter Spaces, for instance, is yes, we can hear people that are talking on the stage, but if I'm in the audience, I'm able to participate, I'm able to emote, so I'm able to like clap my hands or love heart something that is being said. If I'm just in real life and I'm sitting in the audience, sure, I may be able to laugh collectively with the audience if something funny's being said, but I think it would be really cool if you had more ways for interactiveness with the audience. It also gives a really good indication to speakers whether it's resonating with people. So I'm thinking do away with the stuffy conferences with people on stage and let's have more people feel like they're interacting with the speakers. Secondly, accessibility. I don't want to see these expensive prices that a lot of NFT conferences are charging just to attend. To me, we need to be more inclusive and understanding that there are people that are incredibly talented in the Web3 space that may not be able to afford to fly across from the other side of the world, pay for their flights, their hotel, plus an exorbitant ticket fee just to attend an event and be in the room. Now, I understand that hosting events is a costly endeavor. By encouraging more of this hybrid approach where you have more interactiveness from people that are online as well as offline, that will help in terms of reducing the barriers for people that couldn't afford necessarily to spend all that money just to be in person at an event. At these events, you really want to make sure that you've got the best people at the event, not because they can afford to be there, but because they deserve to be there. Just to think creatively about this, I don't think you should enable access based on price. Now, there are events where you're able to gain access if you hold the NFT, but for some of these NFTs, they're also really expensive. So I think we need to think more creatively in the Web3 space and think of other ways that we can enable access. Now, it could be that you have a quiz that is created and maybe it's a quiz about Web3. How much do you know about Web3? How much do you know about Solidity? We should have more ways of allowing people to join in on the conversation, depending on whether they had the knowledge of the topic, not necessarily just the funds. Perhaps they're performing other activities that empower the Web3 community as a whole. All of these actions should be taken into account as to whether they should be given a ticket to attend these conferences. The way that we're funding these conferences needs to change. Instead of just thinking about a set price that everybody pays the same price, and obviously I know that they have some tiers where you can get like VIP tier, etc., and they have like the lower price for more people to be able to afford. Maybe the conference should be a more decentralized type of event. I would actually love to see more of the Web3 community get involved in what these conferences actually look like to begin with, and therefore then determine how much would these cost, and from then you can work out ticket prices accordingly. I feel like we're still in a very centralized bubble where we have a certain layer of people that are actually organizing these conferences and then they're selling tickets and trying to make money. It's not Web3, that's very Web2, we could do better. One of the ideas I have for like the ultimate NFT conference is to completely do away with the traditional conference format. I actually like the idea of having tons of different clubhouses. Now, I'm not talking about Clubhouse, the app, but with NFTs, you have all these amazing communities that have popped up. And I think it would be really cool is if you had different clubhouses for each of these NFT collections, where they were super creative. They were given an empty room where they could just go crazy and show their brand's purpose, show their project, what they're up to, bring out the real personality of your collection in this room. I'm thinking like how Doodles puts on some of their events. It's inspiring, it's exciting, it's fun for people to get involved. I want to see microcosms of that all in one place. And that would be something that I would actually look forward to attending. For people to gain access to the clubhouse, obviously they either have to hold the NFT themselves, and that's pretty cool because then you could have like the members only club. Perhaps there's certain activities that people have to do to gain access to that club. And you could have certain times for different access for different people, for different activities. Perhaps the club wants to host a members only session. It's like the insiders edition. And then you could also have an educational session for people that want to know more about the project. Perhaps talk to the founders. There's tons of ideas. And here's where, for me as a community builder, I think the real magic could happen at a conference like this. The cross collaborations between these clubhouses. So I would love to see, for instance, one NFT club invite another NFT club to come and take a tour, discuss potential ways that they could work together, and vice versa. And I want to see real things happen in real time. So for instance, if you've got two artists, I think it would be amazing to have both those artists come together and in real time create something, and people could watch the creation happen in real time. You could have roundtable conversations that take place in these clubs with members that are really passionate about the future of the NFT collection or the project. They want to get involved. How do they get involved? Perhaps they're not happy with the direction. Perhaps they're really unhappy with the team and the execution that's happened so far, and give them the opportunity to have open conversations with the team. Now, all of this should happen in both the physical as well as the virtual world. So I actually see everything being either live streamed or recorded and uploaded. You can have watch parties with people that are online. And I think by having this clubhouse concept where you have people that come into a smaller room and have the ability to have deeper conversations, and feeling a bit more like a Twitter space where you can get so much value out of it, but you're able to either do it in person or you can also connect with people in the Twitter space. In my mind, I think of World of Women because it's such an incredible project and they have so much to offer. They have such a strong purpose. They have an incredible team behind them, and they have an incredible artist as well. Their whole purpose is to empower female artists and females in Web3. And I think with this clubhouse concept, they could truly do that. They could invite all the female artists that are at this conference to come into their World of Women clubhouse, perhaps have them showcase their work all around the room. Perhaps they're doing it in real time as well, and people can actually see the talent of these female artists, help empower women to be more seen in the space, collaborate with other collections that are also trying to empower females, and do it in a way that is just exciting to be a part. I think that as a participant for these conferences, you should walk away just feeling completely wowed by the experience. That takes creativity. That takes the willingness to go beyond the traditional. Taking concepts like panel discussions and thinking about how can we do these better. Thinking about the people in the room, whether that's physically or virtually, that are taking part in these conversations, and are we including the right people? It shouldn't be a room full of crypto bros or people with the loudest voice that not necessarily are the ones that are going to be delivering all the value that can be shared within the Web3 community. That might just be one point of view. We should be having a diverse set of views across the whole world. We should be incorporating concepts like the metaverse, where the sky is the limit in terms of what you can imagine to happen can happen in the metaverse. So you've got a pretty high bar there to recreate that in the physical world. I think we should be asking more people in the Web3 space and listening to what they want. We should be also taking into consideration their ideas as to how we can build the ultimate community. I'm just sharing my ideas now in this video, but I truly think that there are so many incredible people in this space that have amazing ideas as to how we can take Web3 conferences and events to the next level, and we should be giving them the opportunity to help us make that happen. So with that in mind, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think should happen in the Web3 physical event space? Have you been to a Web3 event and you felt underwhelmed? Have you been to a Web3 event and actually felt differently? You felt like it was the most incredible experience of your life. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your ideas. I know we can do better, and I'm excited to see the future of Web3 events and where it can go, because I think there is huge potential to be at the forefront here of community events. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is part of a collaboration with other YouTubers where we're talking all about virtual and physical events. If you want to know why virtual live events matter in online communities, make sure to check out this video by Socially Constructed Online, a fellow YouTuber. And I'll also leave a link to the playlist of all the other videos by YouTubers where we're talking about virtual events or physical events and how we can do better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.